What if I told you that the popular advice, to conquer your dark side, what if that is precisely what keeps like 95% of people trapped in cycles of self-sabotage, anxiety, and frustration? The truth is, this so-called dark side, what the brilliant psychologist Carl Jung called the shadow, well, it isn't what you think it is. Most people are trying to destroy a part of themselves that secretly holds their greatest strengths, their most profound creativity, their rawest potential. It's like a hidden treasure chest they're trying to throw into the ocean. This knowledge, it isn't just theory. No, it's a practical key to unlock a more authentic and powerful version of yourself. This is the secret that separates those who feel whole from those who constantly feel like something is missing. So stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to reveal the 3 most dangerous misunderstandings about the shadow. And learning to avoid mistake number 2, that is the single most important step you can take towards genuine self-mastery. All right, let's dive right in. When you hear the word shadow, what comes to mind? For most people, it's images of evil, weakness, anger, jealousy, all the things we've been taught to be ashamed of, the parts of ourselves we don't want anyone, including ourselves, to see. And this leads us directly to the first and maybe the most fundamental misunderstanding. See, the common belief is that the shadow is this demonic bag of all your worst impulses, right? The monster under the bed of your personality. But this is a profound and really damaging misinterpretation of Jung's work. Jung himself, he never defined the shadow as exclusively negative. No, here's what he really meant. The shadow is simply the parts of your personality that are unconscious. That's it. It's the sum total of everything you have repressed or rejected or left undeveloped because it didn't fit with the conscious ideal you have of yourself, or wow, the ideal that your family, your culture, and society expected of you. Think of it like this. Your consciousness is a brightly lit room. You've decorated this room carefully. You've chosen the furniture you like, the photos you're proud of. This is your persona, the you that you present to the world. So the shadow is everything else you've thrown into the basement because it didn't fit the decor. Now, is there junk in that basement? Absolutely. Old resentments, petty jealousies, irrational fears. But here's the shocking part that most people miss. So listen, that basement also contains priceless treasures. Maybe as a child, you were incredibly creative, spontaneous, but you were told to stop daydreaming and be serious. So you threw that creativity into the basement. Or maybe you had this powerful, assertive voice, but you were told you were too loud or bossy. So you locked that assertiveness away. Maybe you had a deep sensitivity, empathy, but you were taught that real men don't cry, or that being sensitive is a weakness. So, down it went, into the shadow. These positive, powerful traits, this is what Jung called the golden shadow, right? They are the abandoned parts of your potential. And when you declare war on your shadow, you're not just fighting your demons. No, you're also destroying your hidden angels. You're fighting to keep your own gold buried. So the first step is to completely reframe your understanding. The shadow isn't your enemy, okay? It's simply the other half of you. And ignoring it, that doesn't make it go away. It just makes it angrier, more desperate to be heard. And that leads us to the next critical point, which is where things get really, really interesting. Okay, so if the shadow isn't just evil and we're not supposed to destroy it, what are we supposed to do with it? Well, the Jungian term is integration. And this is where the second dangerous misunderstanding comes in. A lot of people, they hear integrate your shadow, and they think it means acting out your repressed impulses, right? They think if they have repressed anger, integration means they should start yelling at people. If they have repressed selfishness, they should start ignoring everyone's needs but their own. This is not integration. No, this is possession. That's what Jung called enantiodromia, this tendency of things to just flip into their opposite. It's letting the wild horse run you off a cliff. True integration, it's not about becoming your shadow, okay? It is the process of making the unconscious conscious. It's about turning on the light in the basement. It's about having the courage to walk down the stairs, to look at what's there, both the junk and the treasure, and just say, this is also a part of me. Let me give you a concrete example. Let's say part of your shadow is this deep-seated rage that you've suppressed your whole life because you were told, good people don't get angry. Yeah? Repression means you just pretend the anger doesn't exist. You smile, you're polite, but that anger doesn't disappear. It festers. It might turn inward, cause depression or anxiety, or it might leak out in passive-aggressive comments, chronic sarcasm, or these sudden inexplicable blow-ups over something trivial, like someone cutting you off in traffic, right? In this state, the anger controls you. Possession, that's the misunderstanding of integration, would be deciding, fine, I'm an angry person, and becoming this bitter, aggressive individual who uses anger as their main tool. But the anger still controls you. Now you've just given it the driver's seat. True integration is different. It's acknowledging the anger without judgment. It's saying, I feel a powerful anger within me. And then you get curious. Where's it come from? What is it trying to protect? What boundary has been crossed? By bringing it into the light of consciousness, you take the power back, and now you can choose how to use that energy. Maybe that anger is actually a fierce energy for justice. Maybe it's the fuel you need to finally leave a toxic job or relationship. You don't become the anger, you become the one who wields its power with wisdom. Integration is about awareness, not action. It's about ownership, not indulgence. It transforms you from a slave to your hidden impulses into a master of your full, complex self. And when you refuse to do this, your shadow finds another way to manifest, a much more destructive way. If this is starting to click for you, if you're seeing how this reframes everything you thought you knew about personal growth, do me a small favor and just tap the like button right now. Yeah, it's a simple click for you, but it tells the algorithm that this is a valuable conversation. It helps more people find this video and stop fighting the wrong battles in their lives. And if you want to go deeper on this journey with me, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Okay? Okay, so we've established that the shadow isn't just evil, and integrating it means awareness, not indulgence. So now we come to the most subtle and frankly the most powerful mechanism the shadow uses to control your life without you even knowing it. Dramatic projection. Have you ever met someone and had an instant irrational dislike for them? Or have you ever found yourself just incredibly irritated, even enraged by a certain type of behavior in others? Maybe it's arrogance or laziness or neediness, right? Pay very close attention to those reactions because Jung made a groundbreaking discovery. He found that what we most vehemently reject, criticize, and judge in others is very often a disowned part of our own shadow. This is called projection. It's a psychological defense mechanism where the ego, unable to face a quality in itself, casts it out like a movie projector and sees it on the screen of another person. Yeah, the world becomes a mirror for the parts of ourselves we refuse to own. Here's a simple everyday example. Imagine a guy who's an extreme workaholic. He prides himself on his discipline, his work ethic. He looks at his colleague who leaves work at 5 p.m. sharp to spend time with his family, and he feels this burning contempt. He calls the colleague lazy, unambitious, a slacker. What's really happening here? It's highly likely that this workaholic has a deep repressed part of himself that longs for rest, for balance, for a life outside of work. But his conscious identity as a hard worker won't let him acknowledge this need. It's a weakness he's thrown into his shadow. So his psyche projects that disowned part onto his colleague. His anger at the colleague is really just a displaced anger at his own repressed desire for rest. Wow, he is literally fighting his own shadow in the form of another person. This happens everywhere. Everywhere. The person who rails against the arrogance of others may be hiding a deep-seated insecurity and a repressed desire to be seen and acknowledged. The person who can't stand needy or emotional people is often terrified of their own vulnerability and their own need for connection. As Jung famously said, right? Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. This is why shadow work is so crucial. Until you withdraw your projections, until you take back the qualities you've cast onto others, you are not in control of your own life. You're a puppet, and your shadow is pulling the strings. You'll be doomed to fight the same battles over and over, just with different people playing the roles of your disowned parts. Real freedom begins the moment you have the courage to ask, what is it in this person that is triggering me so intensely? And what might it be telling me about a part of myself that I have refused to see? That question, that is the key that unlocks the cage. And once you unlock it, you don't just find peace, you find power. This brings us to the most exciting part of this entire process. Confronting the shadow isn't just about damage control. It's not just about stopping self-sabotage or having better relationships. No, that's a side effect. The real purpose of this work is, as Jung put it, to find the gold in the shadow. Every part of you that you've repressed, it holds a charge of psychic energy. Yeah, when you repress your anger, you also repress the energy for assertiveness and for setting boundaries. When you repress your sadness, you also repress your capacity for empathy and deep connection. And when you repress your foolish creativity, you repress your access to innovation and joy. This energy is locked away in your unconscious. It's like having a billion-dollar inheritance you don't even know exists. Shadow work is the process of claiming that inheritance. When you integrate a piece of your shadow, you reclaim the energy that was tied up in repressing it, okay? And this results in an incredible surge of vitality and authenticity. The good girl who integrates her rebellious shadow, she doesn't become a criminal. No, she becomes a courageous woman who can speak her truth and challenge the status quo. The logical man who integrates his emotional shadow doesn't become hysterical. No, he becomes a whole man capable of deep love, intuition, and connection, making his logic even more powerful because it's now informed by heart. The serious artist who integrates their playful, silly shadow doesn't lose their edge. Instead, they unlock a whole new dimension of creativity and joy that makes their work more profound. This is the path to what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming a whole, integrated, unique individual, right? It's about becoming who you truly are, not who you were conditioned to be. It's the most challenging and ultimately the most rewarding adventure a human being can undertake. It's like the journey from being a cardboard cutout of a person to being a living, breathing, complex, and beautiful masterpiece. So, how do you start? You don't need to dive into the deep end. You start small. You start with observation. For the next week, I want you to try this. Just notice. Notice what triggers a strong emotional response in you, positive or negative. A character in a movie, a politician on the news, a colleague at work. Don't analyze, don't judge, just write it down, like, I felt intense admiration for their confidence, or I felt intense disgust at their arrogance. This is you creating the map to your own hidden treasure. Yeah, so let's bring this all together. We've learned that the shadow is not evil, but simply the unconscious parts of you, both dark and golden. We've discovered that integration is not about acting out, but about conscious awareness and ownership. And we've seen how projection keeps us trapped, fighting our own disowned parts in the outside world. Ultimately, this work isn't about fixing yourself. It's not. It's about completing yourself. It's about having the courage to embrace your full humanity. Now, I have a question for you to reflect on. What is one quality you strongly admire in others? Courage, creativity, confidence, but you tell yourself you could never possess. Think about that, and if you feel comfortable, share your answer in the comments below, okay? You might be surprised to see you're not alone. Thank you for your time and your attention today. Really, the journey inward is the only one that truly matters.